Hey guys, we are talking about disciples again tonight. Some of the blunders that they made, some of the good things that they did. We talked about James last week. We'll be talking about John tonight. And John, we don't see anything really bad until he basically does the same thing that James did. It was James and John that both said, "Can we be seated right next to you, Jesus, when this whole thing's over, when we go to heaven with you?" So we see that out of him. It's kind of this pride, this arrogance, this need to be important, to be like, I don't know, better than other people. And then we also see him, he's rebuking this guy because he's not one of the 12 apostles that Jesus has appointed, and he's driving out demons. He's performing works, and he's like, you can't do that. You're not like the in crowd. And we see that a lot, I think, in church today. So we talk about that as well, like you're not part of us, or like we kind of just look down on people that are different from us, that are not part of our groups. I'll talk about that a little bit. And then like maybe 2 verses later, literally 2 verses later, so Jesus rebukes him for that. And then John is talking, Luke 9, we'll be there, and John basically says that he wants to call down fire upon the Samaritans. So basically Jesus wanted to go through Samaria, and they just didn't receive him. They rejected him. And John was like, John and James were like, let's call down fire upon them. Let's kill them all. Which is like, it's cool to see the passion. Like, I love Jesus so much that I just want everybody to believe in him. But that was a completely wrong thing to say. Like, I want this whole place to burn down. I want this whole people to burn down because they're not going to follow after you. That's not going to win a lot of hearts over to Jesus, right? Like, that kind of attitude. Like, if you don't follow Jesus, I'm going to just burn you down. So that's the thing with John, is he's so passionate about truth. And that's what all of 1 John's about. He's so passionate about truth, and Jesus was like, but yeah, you need to learn about love as well. And we see by the end of even John's gospel that he has kind of learned that. He's referring to himself as the apostle that Jesus loved. And then all the way in his epistles, he's talking about this is what you need to do. You need to not hate. You need to love, because if you hate, you are not in the light. You are in the darkness. We'll talk about that as well. So by the end of his life, he's actually learned this. We preach the truth, but we preach it in love. That's what Ephesians 4:15 says. So if we have too much truth, basically we're just saying, hey, you sinner, you're going to die and go into hell, which is not a great thing to do. That's condemning. That's not what Jesus says. I came to seek and save the lost, not to just condemn everybody. But if we have too much love, like I think we see that a lot today too. It's like, let's just love people, let's all just get along. Let's find like what's most common about each other, and like let's just live that way and not be offensive. So it's got to be both, and we've got to preach truth. Like, yeah, if you don't believe in Jesus, that's where you're going to hell. But I love you so much, I don't want that to happen. So let's start a dialogue. Let's open up this. Let's have friends that don't know Jesus, because they are going to hell, and we need to love them so much that we are willing to speak truth to them at times. So it's got to be both. And so John learns that lesson over his life, and hopefully we'll talk about that tonight, and the students will learn that lesson as well as us. So that'll be awesome. We'll have a great game with all the lights turned off, kind of a glow stick game. And it'll be a great night. So I've already posted the discussion questions. Please watch this video. I will see you guys tonight. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.